So with this video I'm gonna demonstrate you how to start welding the little screen pieces. So what you can do is, when you have a piece of leftover screen, we just cut it in small pieces with a scissor and cut it in pieces so that you start practicing on the sample screens that we sent you. So we have the welding handpiece. We adjusted the welder and the foot box, and basically when you operate the foot piece you will start seeing sparks. So nothing can happen when you do this. So between the earth cable and this cable you have now a circuit. So when you operate a foot pulse you will get something like 5 to 7 volts voltage and up to a couple of 100 amps per pulse. So you also feel it. So when you operate a foot switch you feel it in the cable and you can hear it. The pulse box is adjusted at 0.9 pulses of pulse duration. So now I'm going to show you how to weld the screen to the screen support. So what I explained to you, what is important, that you apply pressure when welding. Well, the pressure is like pressuring like this on your hand. You should not pressure too hard because then you get a sore hand, and not too light because then you have the risk of not having sufficient pressure and you have too much resistance. So I will show you now how to weld a piece of screen. So what is important, you put the screen on the plate, you put the electrode on, and only then you hit the foot pedal. So you hit the foot pedal, it starts welding. Then you take the foot pedal off and then you remove the handpiece. So now you already see that it's connected. It's quite easy to remove it, and there are no holes in the screen because the welding unit is set at 0.6 kiloamp, which is low. So 0.6 is a low value, and you just get a very minor bond between the screen and the screen support. I'm welding now again a little bit more, but the electricity is just enough to get a bond, but you can rip it off without damage. So now I'm gonna just one step up, 0.7 kiloamps on the welder, and weld again. So now the welder is set at 0.7 kiloamps, and when I weld, so again you put the handpiece on, you apply a little bit pressure or with the finger, and then you hit the foot pedal and you're gonna weld it. So now you will see that we got a little bit more bond strength, and we start to get almost a hole in the screen. And when you go over it with your hand, this is still smooth, but if we increase the amperes, you will start to get more holes and you will start to get material that's left on the screen support. Now I will show you one step up, 0.8 kiloamp. So this is 0.8 kiloamp, so you get more amps per pulse. Same thing again, you put the screen on, you put the handpiece on, apply a little bit of pressure, and then hit the switch, the foot switch. So if we weld now, foot switch off, handpiece off. If we weld now, we start to get little holes. So we'll go up one step more. This is now 0.9. Now we get more energy to do the welding. but there's also risk with more amps that you damage the screen. And now it's connected, that you get holes in the screen from welding and you leave material behind. So this is too much ampere. So the better way to start, especially in the beginning, is at 0.7, maybe 0.8 kiloamp. So I will go back now to 0.7 kiloamp. I'll take a new piece of screen and I will start welding again. So this is enough. There's a little hole, but that's enough bond strength. Now I will show you the effect of not applying enough pressure from the electrode to the screen support. So you cannot feel it, but you will see it. So now it's loose and you will start seeing it sparking. I will hit the foot pedal now. You see, I mean, when you get sparks, and then the electrode will stick, so it's now really loose. And you hear also the welder sometimes giving an alarm. That is an indication that you do not have enough pressure while moving it. And if you look now at the screen, you see these damaged areas. And if you would look through it or with a little microscope, you would see damage here. And that's only because you did not apply enough pressure. So you should not apply too much, just like this, and then go over it. So this is what you have to practice. You take little pieces and then you go over it with sufficient pressure that you don't get an alarm from the welder, and you go over it in a controlled pattern. So not like this, just try to make linear lines like shown, and then you can change in the other direction so that you have a zigzag pattern for welding the screen to the screen support. And this is what it needs to be. So this is what you need to practice. You just cut many pieces, you put them on, you remove it. When you remove it and you want to re-weld it, then you have to remove the burrs with a little bit of sandpaper. So you take sandpaper, they're little leftovers, and you clean them. That's the same for the electrode. When you made mistakes, like here, then the screen will weld to the electrode. The electrode becomes rough, and you just remove that with sandpaper so that it feels smooth and you can go over the screen. So this is something you have to practice. Well, good luck with practicing.